Sonic Dream Team has just launched for Apple Arcade. I wasn't originally planning to go out of my way for a smartphone game, but when I groggily woke up to an email from Sega with a convenient download button, I tapped it in my early morning stupor. Surprised to see I was eligible for a 1-month trial of Apple Arcade, I said, "Fuck it," saw a content opportunity, and broke my own rule against playing smartphone games and downloaded it for my crusty iPhone 11 Pro. And to my surprise, it's actually good. Shockingly good for a Sonic game, doubly so being one locked behind an iOS exclusive subscription service. While it made a good impression on my phone, wanting to experience it using a controller, I downloaded it for my MacBook Air, and this chaos ensued.
And look at this, still not letting me do anything. What the f***?
I couldn't play it because of that unclosable pop-up, and rebooting the MacBook didn't solve that problem either. Thanks, multi-billion-dollar corporation whose products I buy and services I subscribe to. As a result, I've only played it on my phone, but even on the phone, it's been quite the experience. As good as it is, it's not overwhelmingly positive. So in this review, I'll highlight some of its flaws. By the end, you'll know if it's worth subscribing to Apple Arcade for, and how it compares to more recent Sonic games, especially Sonic Superstars, which I reviewed recently on this channel. In the comments section of that video, gaming's most rational fanbase was quick to criticize me, to curse at me, and to question my allegiance to the Sonic fandom. However, I did get this nice comment: "I hope Sonic Dream Team is enjoyable to the world and not just to an exclusive fan group that defends everything." Well, let's find out if Sonic Dream Team answers our hopes and prayers. Here we go. Dr. Eggman has stumbled upon a device, the Reverie, which grants its users the power to turn their dreams into reality. While searching for the kidnapped Cream the Rabbit, Sonic and friends stumble upon a sleeping Eggman and are sucked into the world of Eggman's dreams. With the Reverie's sheep-like guardian Ariam on their side, can Sonic and friends find a way out and stop Eggman's plans for world domination once more? Just this simple premise has infinitely more creativity than Sonic Superstars. While yes, it is stopping Eggman again, at least it introduces a new character, Ariam, whose presence serves to elevate the storyline, and she makes a strong first impression in a universe full of disposable one-off characters. And even though the story is not all that surprising, at least it is something original and creative, exploring the world of Eggman's dreams. This story is told with dynamic, comic book style cutscenes, which unfortunately are not fully animated. I think this was partially to accommodate a phone's smaller screen space and to keep these cutscenes brief and snappy. Despite their limitations, they are fully voiced, unlike Superstars. And what a joy it is to hear these characters once more. The characters of the Sonic universe have always had lovable personalities, backed up by outstanding voice work, and despite this game's smaller scope and limitations, the voice cast is firing on all cylinders as usual. Particularly Mike Pollock as Dr. Eggman, who is just utterly hilarious here. The final world takes the form of a fantastical city constructed around Eggman's ego, complete with gold statues of himself. In this city, he makes announcements that just diss Sonic, like, "The speed limit here is 5 miles an hour. Absolutely no going fast allowed." It's this personality that was sorely missing from Sonic Superstars, and I'm so glad it's back here. While sadly there's no playable Shadow here, at least there's playable Rouge and Cream. I've always hated the argument that Sonic games should only have Sonic playable, or only have Sonic and the trio of Knuckles, Tails, and Amy. How many people out there actually like Cream the Rabbit? Before this game, I thought she was one of the worst characters in the whole Sonic canon, but she's used really effectively here, and she has actually won me over, thanks to the character work done with her and that she's actually fun to play as. I'll get to the gameplay soon, but this character work underscores a crucial point about why Sonic Dream Team is so good. The studio that developed this game is Hardlight, a Sega-owned mobile developer based in the UK. And it just boggles my mind that this small UK-based studio developing games for phones understands these characters and tells better stories than Sega, Sonic Team, and the Arzest team that developed Sonic Superstars. And that Arzest team was even headed up by Sonic's original co-creator. It's incredible that these smaller studios like Hardlight or Christian Whitehead, who made Sonic Mania, understand this world and its fans' expectations better than its original creators. Perhaps they have more passion for this world and its characters more than its aging and indifferent creators, and it really shows. Sonic Dream Team is just full of personality and life compared to Sonic Superstars, and it's commendable that Hardlight pulled this off, especially with the restrictions of it being an iOS game. And speaking of things they pulled off well, this leads me to the gameplay. Typically Typically, I detest mobile action games, especially with a control stick and buttons overlaid over the gameplay. Touchscreens do not at all replicate the feel and utility of a controller, and I will always choose a controller over touchscreen gameplay. While I was unable to test Sonic Dream Team with a controller because my MacBook wouldn't let me, I just made do with the touchscreen controls. Surprisingly, these controls work remarkably well. They're not perfect, especially with my sweaty fat thumbs sliding all over the place and missing the jump button, but they get the job done. This game was clearly made with touchscreens in mind, and this is a very simplified boost formula Sonic game, like a pared down Sonic Lost World. Momentum builds slowly, jumps are floaty, and homing attack windows are generous. Unfortunately, the camera is not perfect and often takes too long to catch up with turning a sharp corner. It can be manipulated with the touchscreen, but this does not at all make up for the freedom of camera control you would get with a right thumbstick. Not game breaking, but yet another downside of touchscreen platformers. Difficulty wise, this is more of a game for casual mobile game players and not the hardcore Sonic fandom, but even veteran Sonic fans can enjoy it. As it's a simplified Sonic game, levels can be completed in just a couple of minutes, perfect for knocking out while riding the bus or waiting in line at the post office. While I didn't get the chance to play it on my computer or TV, I feel like that would defeat the purpose. This is first and foremost a mobile game designed to be played in short bursts, and while the option to play on bigger screens is there, this is not a game that will hold your attention for more than 10 minutes at a time. Accepting it for what it is, it's an incredibly fun, simplified Sonic experience. As I mentioned, there are 6 playable characters, but it's more like 3. Sonic and Amy share the special move of riding lines of rings, Tails and Cream can fly, and Knuckles and Rouge can climb and glide. So there's 6 characters, but only 3 gimmicks. This could have just been a game with Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, but Hardlight added in Amy, Cream, and Rouge as bonuses. These 3 didn't need to be there, but I love that they are. The more the better, and it reminded me of Daisy being added to Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Not necessary, but incredibly nice to have. And you'll be cycling through characters a lot, as different levels layouts require the use of certain characters. While Sonic Superstars only had 1 special level per character to make use of their special abilities, in Dream Team, that variation is constant. This ensures the entire cast get used effectively, and some stages even require the switching of characters mid-level. And considering how many different objectives per level there are, like a time limit or a treasure hunt, this is what Dream Team excels at. Variety. Despite only 4 environments and 4 bosses, there are around 80 levels to complete, and there are some daily challenges added each day. So this was more than enough variety and value for me. And just on those environments, what a treat they are! Despite being a mobile game, it still manages to show us Sonic environments we've never seen before, like a beach adorned with inflatable platforms, or a factory with pipes pumping purple goop all over the place. Visually, it really pushes what can be done for 3D mobile games, to the point where it crashed and bugged out my creaky old iPhone 11 Pro more than a few times. I'm sure it'll look and run better on an iPad or an iPhone 15. Still, there are fewer issues here than Sonic Superstars, so it's pretty embarrassing that a phone game runs and performs better than a full-priced game made for consoles. And finally, the music. This score is by Michel van den Bos, an industry veteran making his Sonic debut. Despite being a debut and not carrying the prestige of other Sonic composers, his music is exciting, dynamic, and slots right in. It's better than Jun Sonoe's flat Genesis sound font tracks in Superstars, and it's yet another example of this game showing up that game. To conclude, developers Hardlight more than understood the assignment, exceeded everyone's expectations, and delivered a shockingly good iOS Sonic game. Sonic Dream Team makes the best of the Sonic universe and characters, and is a fun, exciting, and addictive portable experience. It's important to remember that it is an iOS game after all, so it's not going to completely blow your mind, but it's definitely better than the majority of mobile games out there. Whether you're a Sonic fan or not, this is a fun and worthwhile game for Apple device owners. And if you are a Sonic fan, you'll probably be as surprised as me to find that this phone game plays better and has more value than the most recent Sonic game for consoles. So it's a great game, but there still lies the central question. Is this worth subscribing to Apple Arcade for? No. I'm not that interested in playing phone or MacBook games, and I used my free 1-month trial of Apple Arcade just to play this because it's Sonic. I am in no way converted into playing mobile games after this. I've always been of the opinion that the best games are only found on dedicated gaming hardware, and I am not changing that opinion anytime soon. While I'm sure this game was commissioned by Apple to get more well-known IP and therefore more people onto their subscription service, how many more subscription services in your life do you need? Certainly not one for phone phone games, which makes it so disappointing that a rare Sonic game is locked behind this service, with no sign of a console port on the horizon. Like I said, Sonic Dream Team wouldn't really suit consoles, but it would be nice to have, at least for preservation reasons. At the very least, I would like to buy this game outright for my phone, not be denied it once my 1-month trial runs out. It's a shame that this game is essentially held hostage by Apple, and if you don't pay their fee, you're not getting the chance to play it. We can only hope that it will be ported to the Switch or made available for a one-time purchase, but don't get your hopes up. If you still have access to your 1-month trial of Apple Arcade, use it for Sonic Dream Team, but certainly do not sign up for it just for this. I absolutely detest the idea of games being locked behind a monthly subscription service, so I do not encourage you to financially support this model. I support Hardlight for making such a good game, but I do not support Apple for so zealously guarding it, and you shouldn't either. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have you played Sonic Dream Team? Are there any other Apple Arcade games I should try before my 1-month trial runs out? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. For more game reviews like this, please be sure to like and subscribe. So, thanks as always for watching, and I will see you next time.